Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 13th of July and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe we'll try out a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks and that will get us to the end of July. I'll get on that for you in a second. Just to say that first, a video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. So please check out today's other forecasts. Like, share, subscribe on the video. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We need to put on around 15 subscribers, I think, 15, to get ourselves to 16.4k. So if you could give us a sub, tell your friends and family to subscribe, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. I hope you're having a lovely Monday as well. Right, let's start off centering temperature then. The seating is now sitting at 16.0, which is bang on the 61.9 average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 2nd of July. I reckon that will be going below average when it updates tomorrow, as it's a relatively cool day here in Norfolk, so I think it's pretty representative here of the CT region, and I would imagine this is going to come out below average for the first week of July. Bear in mind, June was below average for its first week as well, and finished up 3 degrees above average. So it just goes to show you never know what's going to happen, and just because we have a cool opening week does not necessarily mean that the month overall is going to come out below average. But at the moment we're running around 1 Celsius cooler than June, provisional just to the 2nd day of the month. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're at Birmingham today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Birmingham. We're starting off below average at the moment, going to stay that way until the end of the week. We have got a bit of a warm-up coming up briefly at the end of the week and into the weekend. So briefly we get a little bit of a push-up in the temperature, and then they fall again and return back to average or a little bit under par through the 2nd week of July and into the middle of the month. Even in the second half of the month, actually, no sign of anything particularly hot showing up there. Of course, a little push-up in temperature might appear at some point, like this one has done. But overall, you look at that and you have to say, up to the middle of July, there's no sign of anything particularly hot coming up, except for this warm couple of days over the end of week and inside of weekend. Precipitation-wise, there will be more precipitation as well, so got further showers and or long spells of rain to come in the next 2 or 3 days. Drier then at the end of week and into weekend as it turns warmer, but not for long. The precipitation spikes then come back and in style as we go through the 2nd week of July and up to the middle part of the month. So it does look as though next week could actually be quite wet with spells of rain coming in from off the Atlantic. Temperature anomalies from the 3rd to the 11th of July coming out a little bit cooler than average, and precipitation anomalies from the 3rd to the 11th of July coming out near normal to a little bit wetter than average in many areas. We have got this drier slot here around Northern Ireland and South West Scotland, interestingly, and also across North Wales, but generally most places average or slightly above the rainfall. The latest Windflow Map from earthnoschool.net shows that bring in westerly winds today, and just to the north we've actually got some Arctic air lurking. We've actually got northerly winds lurking just to the north of Scotland. They'll be making their presence felt through tomorrow and into Wednesday as well. If we drag the map down, you see this is a long fetch northerly, very unusual for July this, with the wind coming up from up here in the Arctic and moving all the way down the Norwegian Sea towards northern parts of Scotland. As I say, those northerly winds will be making their presence felt over the next couple of days. It won't be cold in the sun, it will still be relatively warm given the strength of the sun, but the temperature will be coming out a bit below average. Right, let's start going through chart data then. Now for the UK Met, we've got to go to the weather out. We're going to go to 2 today. So this is the latest UK Met Euro is looking for midnight on Thursday. Low pressure to the north and west of Scotland. Heights trying to rise from the south and from the southwest. So as we go through Friday and into Saturday, here's that push up in the temperature. We get a ridge building to our east. Low pressures out to the west. That allows much warmer air to start drifting up from the south, but it is only quite temporary. By Sunday, well, end of Saturday really, and into Sunday, this low pressure is already pushing in, cutting off that southerly flow, and that's how it looks as we get to the end of the UK Met Euro run, which gets us to midnight on Monday, more or less under an area of low pressure, and certainly think quite a lot cooler and more unsettled then. Icon, again, looking like this, trying to raise the ridge down to the south, raise heights down to the south on Thursday. And when we go through Friday to Saturday, with low pressure out to the west, high pressure to the east, winds coming up from that southerly southeast direction. We have got some hot air over France, got plus 15 Celsius into southeastern parts of England then, but very quickly that gets swept away as we go from Saturday into Sunday. Cooler air comes in from off the Atlantic, bringing showers and or long spells of rain, seeing how the warmest of the air being pushed over towards Germany. And then as we go into the beginning of next week, we're basically just under an area of low pressure with showers and longer spells of rain likely, and the air coming back in from off the Atlantic. The GFS midnight run, where are they? GFS midnight run, and again raising heights to the south on Thursday into Friday and Saturday. Again, low pressure out to west, high pressure to the east, winds pushing up from that southerly southeasterly direction. As we go through the weekend, we find this low pressure drifting in from the Atlantic. It will bring showers and or longer spells of rain as well, and up towards day 10 looking quite unsettled and cool, winds coming in from a northwesterly direction, and they'll be bringing showers with them. Beyond that, we attempt to get a little bit of a ridge building there around the 14th of July. It's doomed to fail. The next low comes in from off the Atlantic. That brings further wet weather in with it. That gets us to the middle of July, and beyond that to the end of the GFS run, which today gets us to Wednesday 19th of July. We're in a cool and showery north to northwesterly winds with showers or longer spells of rain, and winds are back in from a northwesterly direction again. Doesn't look great, that one, does it? GFS 6Z again, finding that the heights we're trying to build to are south on Thursday. That allows the wind to go into the south into Friday, but even by Saturday, this is 6 a.m. Saturday, and we're already pushing this low pressure in. So you do have to question just how much of this southerly wind we're going to get at the end of the week. Nevertheless, it does turn very warm with the upper air temperatures Friday, Saturday with plus 15 Celsius. But depending on timings and cloud amounts, showers amount, that might get the temperature back to 30 degrees in the southeast on Saturday. But beyond that, it looks rather unsettled, I have to say. Low pressure is never far away. By the time we get through to the beginning of next week, this is 6 a.m. next Tuesday, 11th of July, we are actually under an area of low pressure again then, with showers and or longer spells of rain. Beyond that, yes, we try to raise the heights a little bit as we go into the middle of July, but it all looks rather flimsy, and further low pressure never far away, with more showers and longer spells of rain to come. If you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much everybody for doing that. GM, again, with this ridge building up from the south on Thursday. That allows a southerly wind to develop from Friday into Saturday with high pressure east, low pressure is out to the west. And then into the weekend when it all starts to turn very wobbly with areas of low pressure around, so expect increasing risk of showers and or thunderstorms through the weekend and on into next week, looking unsettled and rather cool as well, with low pressure in from off the Atlantic bringing spells of rain and cooler temperatures. A big change this, big changes on what we had in June. And then the ECM at WF once more, showing this ridge building up from the southwest on Thursday into Friday and Saturday. Again, the wind shifts round to the south with a ridge to our east and a low to our west. That pushes up back to southerly wind at last through Saturday. So the southeast might get temperatures, as I say, to 30 degrees on Saturday afternoon. It just depends how quickly this low pressure comes in off the Atlantic. So there is a little bit of uncertainty about how quick or how delayed that low pressure will be. The ECM, like all the other models, does get that low pressure through, so by the beginning of next week we're under low pressure with showers and longer spells of rain and cool temperatures as well as we go through next week. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tibetio.com. Plenty of showers and or longer spells of rain to come over the next few days. into the end of the week, but it does turn dry up for a while, although by Saturday we have got a few showers and thunderstorms starting to break out, and then this wet weather begins moving in from the west as we go through the weekend. Could turn very wet over on the inside of the country by the end of the weekend. Inside of next week, further showers and or longer spells of rain to come. So there's not much you can say other than there is going to be quite a bit of rain over the next few days by the look of it, next week to 10 days. These are the on the table within the ECM Ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 13th of July. 20 members of the ECM Ensembles with low pressure to our east. High pressure is out in the Atlantic. Winds coming in from a northwesterly direction. So rather cool and rather unsettled with that. 14 with low pressure again over country. Winds coming in from a westerly direction. 7 with low pressure right over top of the country. That looks unsettled at day 10. Cruising control and the operational run. 6 again with low pressure just to the west of the country, showers and or long spells of rain. 4 with high pressure from Greenland to Scandinavia, probably some sort of upper level trough over into the south of the country, and winds again in from an easterly direction with that. They all look very mixed. The 4 here probably the least unsettled, I should say. But they all look rather mixed and unsettled at day 10. What's happening in 2 weeks' time? These are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 18th of July. 16 members of the ECM Ensembles again with low pressure into the west of Europe. So that looks cool and unsettled. 14 low pressure to the east of Scotland. High pressure reaching in the Atlantic. Cool and showery. Another 14 with low pressure to the west and northwest of Scotland. Again, that will keep it rather unsettled, but would be a little bit warmer at least, as we will bring up the wind from more of a southwesterly direction. And then 7 with a trough over Scandinavia, a ridge in the Atlantic, winds coming in from a west or northwesterly direction. So I suppose that's probably the driest option, but would be a bit on the cool side. But weather prospects don't look great for this July so far, do they? Looks very mixed. CFS lastly, these are 500 millibar height anomalies broken down into week periods. The first week period takes from 3rd to the 9th of July. This week is going to be unsettled with low pressure in control, and so there will be showers or longer spells of rain. Into week 2, it's the 10th to the 16th of July. Low pressure again across Scotland, high pressure somewhere down towards the Med, winds coming in from a west or southwesterly direction. That looks quite unsettled as well. Week 3 is going to be the 17th to the 23rd of July with low pressure between Iceland and Scandinavia. High pressure is in the Atlantic, winds coming in from a west-northwesterly direction, cool and showery. And then week 4, we finally get back to high pressure in the last week of July. It's 24th to the 30th of July with high pressure returning to sit over top of the country. That will bring us drier and warmer conditions. We have to wait until week 4 to get to that though. Before then, lots of unsettled weather to come. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do you like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos, and don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. I mean, thank you so very much everyone for doing that for us. I'll say around 15 subscribers is going to get us to 16.4k. So if you could give us a sub, that would be incredible. Thank you so much everybody. Right, I'll just tell you what's coming up tomorrow. We're going to have 6 UK weather forecast, extended EC 30-day or 42-day forecast tomorrow for the UK and Precip Europe too, and a 10 to 14 dayer as well. Please keep checking back to the channel for all of the content. But for this one, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and bye for now.